Stopping the tax on everything, I'm Brian Lilley with the Rebel.media. When the Liberals ran on bringing in the green shift in 2008, Stephen Harper and the Conservatives rightly called it a tax on everything, from what's grown on farms to the fuel we put in our cars, the fuel we heat our homes with, the transportation required to move clothing, food, everything across the country. Well, the price of everything is going to go up if there's a carbon tax, and yet Prime Minister Justin Trudeau not only said there's going to be a carbon tax, he's forcing the provinces to adopt his deemed estimate on what the carbon tax should be.
The government proposes that the price on carbon pollution should start at a minimum of $10 per tonne in 2018, rising by $10 each year to $50 per tonne in 2022.
Trudeau made this announcement while environment ministers were meeting with his environment minister, Catherine McKenna. That's right. As environment ministers from across the country convened in Montreal, Justin Trudeau stood up in the House of Commons and made this unilateral announcement. So much for the cooperative federalism that he promised. But it doesn't seem to matter to Trudeau or to McKenna. This is about the ends justifying the means. Obviously, an awful lot of opposition to this. Saskatchewan Premier Brad Wall issuing a statement that said, "I cannot believe that while the country's environment ministers were meeting on a so-called collaborative climate change plan, the Prime Minister stood in the House of Commons and announced a carbon tax unilaterally. The meeting is not worth the CO2 emissions it took for the environment ministers to get there." Now, you can dismiss that as Brad Wall. He's opposed to a carbon tax. He's opposed to the Liberal government. But they're also losing traction with allies. Margaret Miller, the Environment Minister for Nova Scotia, a Liberal government, stood up and walked out of the meeting.
We're struggling a little bit to understand where the PM's message came from today and what's going to happen moving forward.
So did Perry Trimper from the Liberal government of Nova Scotia, who can't believe how Trudeau's just imposing this unilaterally.
To have this sort of top-down driven, this is how it's going to be approach runs counter to what we've all been talking about. We are a family of individual provinces and territories. We've all been doing our own thing, so we're in a bit of a challenge here.
And then there's the reaction of fellow travelers like the Alberta Premier, Rachel Notley. She's a New Democrat, but she's very close to Trudeau. They're both uber progressives, and she believes in having a price on carbon. She believes in having her own carbon tax, but she doesn't like Trudeau's plan. And look at what she said. "As far as we're concerned, we can't be talking about the sort of prices that got rolled out today until we get a commitment from this federal government that they're going to move on this fundamentally important economic piece that Albertans need. We need Canada to have our backs, and we need to get a pipeline." Rachel Notley saying to Justin Trudeau, "You can't do this without a pipeline." Even Naheed Nenshi, the Liberal mayor of Calgary, is denouncing this and what it's going to mean for homeowners. If this goes up to $50, then the impact on people's property taxes or transit fares and other user fees will be extraordinary. Now think about that. Beyond this being a tax that you're going to pay personally, you are going to be paying for the civic fleet, whether it's transit or the parks and recreation trucks in your municipality. The cost of operating them will go up. The cost of the many buildings your town, city, municipality operates are going to go up, and that's going to mean higher property taxes for you. Justin Trudeau says this is going to be revenue neutral for the federal government, but it's not going to be revenue neutral for you. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation estimates this will cost the average Canadian family $2,600 a year. 12 cents a litre on gas just as a start. Is that something that you can afford, an extra $2,600 in taxes? I don't know about you, but I can't. So we're going to ask you to sign our carbon tax petition again. You can find it at stopthecarbontax.com. That's stopthecarbontax.com. It's not too late for Justin Trudeau to realize that he's on the wrong side of absolutely everybody and back away from his unilateral, top-down, not collaborative federalism approach to this. This is a tax grab above and beyond all tax grabs, and it needs to be stopped. Sign our petition now, stopthecarbontax.com. Once you've signed it, make sure you share it on social media. Post it to Facebook, post it to Twitter, email it to your Aunt Mildred. Do whatever you can to spread the word. Go now, stopthecarbontax.com. Hey, if you like what you just saw, make sure you never miss another Rebel video again. Hit subscribe for our YouTube channel or head on over to therebel.media and become a member so you can access premium content.